All right, welcome to this edition of Ran Out of Talent. We got quite a few things to cover tonight. I'm here with Greg Gerton.
Hello, hello.
Um, Nobody else was able to make it. Marshall's busy. I was gonna ask Eric Swanson, but I think he's actually still driving back from the Worlds.
And if he's not, who would want to do that drive and then come over here?
Oh, dude, that's like a 2-day drive.
Oh, it's at least.
Yeah. So let's start out with the Super Saturday Electric Series results. I'd like to say I finally beat the rain. We had 88 or 9 entries, and I seriously crunched everything, shortened everything, and we made it right before the major rain hit. We ended on sprinkles, but it wasn't a big deal, and I'm happy we were done at about 4 o'clock sharp.
Yeah, I wouldn't have made it. I didn't get done until about 8:39.
Yeah, but I mean it was fun. I mean, and I don't want to say this because I want to say that I'm glad the exact amount of people showed up.
Yeah.
Because if any more would have showed up, it might have thrown
What
the
did
whole
we end up with for entries?
88 or 9 around
Okay.
there.
So still
So
a
it
really
was a
good
good
turnout.
solid turnout.
Yeah.
It was at Wheel Brokers at Pine City. Awesome track, awesome layout, as always.
So what was the biggest for the year then? Was that
Starbuck. Starbuck, yeah.
What
it was big.
what, one something?
101 or 2 or something like that. But I mean, everything picked up except for Rick's. But Rick's is going to be on the schedule next year. I looked at the new layout they had it drawn out. The new 10 scale layout for Rick's next year is going to be sweet. It's going to be in the middle of the track instead of off to the side. And there's not going to be any stupid stuff.
The only thing that hurt Rick's really was the weather.
Yeah,
So,
the weather is what really did hurt Rick's.
You know, otherwise I thought the track was fine.
No, the track was fine, but they're going to make it even better. Like I said, they're centering the 10 scale loop so you can use the whole driver's stand. And they're not going to have any really difficult to do stuff. No jumps coming towards you or away from you. You can see everything because Rick came to North Branch, which was a nice surprise for the Nitro Series round, and he showed me the new layout, and I'm really excited for it.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, let's keep going with the Wheel Broker deal, though. Jimmy put out he changed some stuff on the layout. I'm not sure exactly, but he got it ready just in time. The track it didn't groove, but it was still high bite because it was so chilly.
Yeah, it was. I mean, what was
It's
the high?
like
Like 65?
65. The sun was beating on it early, but it got cloudy and it got a little funky there.
So what did people end up with? So you ran? I thought I heard that some people were running the red AKA
Some people were
tires
running.
still, the super soft
Yep.
AKA.
People,
But then I
it
heard
was.
other people switch to tasers too.
They could have. I really wasn't. Honestly, I wasn't paying attention because I was just trying my best to get the program in.
Yeah.
That's all I was focused on. I sucked so bad, but I didn't care because I got the program in. I paid zero attention to my own driving and my own stuff. I just sat at the computer and hammered it out. So it was definitely a super soft or soft tire type of track.
Okay.
Tire wear was pretty good because it stayed. Let's talk about Sportsman real quick though. Matt Wood won it. There was a battle the real battle was for second and third between Zach and Julia Van Dalen. Zach threw a fender her way out in the last lap to take away that second spot. Brother and sister battle there. There's Dylan Grovem in fourth, and it was Denny Wesley in fifth, Corey Oran sixth, Aaron Grovem seventh, Nicholas Sovacool eighth, then it was Luann ninth, and Bryce in 10th. Blinky Stock Buggy, that was a pretty solid class. There was exactly 10 people. Kyle Holmberg won it, but Noah Maddox TQ'd. There's a little issue with lap traffic, and whatever. I'm not even going to get into that. But Joey Carlson ended up third, but the real battle was second of the lap to the third of the last lap. It was just jockeying for position, pretty aggressive stuff. I'll tell you what, Aaron Bonner, who ended up fifth, he was sitting in third, second to the last lap. And there's a lot of stuff like that. It was pretty crazy, but Kyle won it. Noah second, Joey Carlson, newest team associated driver third, Seth Van Dalen fourth, Aaron Bonner in fifth, senior sixth, Bill Dalgard seventh, Anthony Z. Stratton eighth, Burdick ninth, and Campbell 10th. But I'll tell you what, everybody that was in that 17 lap range, it was a battle third through eighth, which was really awesome. Good tight stock buggy battle. Pro 4A main, I'm gonna have to make a call here soon, but that was a mix between four-wheel drive Sportsman and Pro 4. There wasn't enough for either, so that's frustrating. I bought a nobody pointed out in the whole class. Second year in a row, I'm gonna have to make a call throughout the winter about Pro 4. But Sam Sovicol, he won it. He got a new truck. He bought Tim Brown's Techno. Tim Brown's out of RC now, it seems like. He was going to win the Pro 4, but it seems like he's out of RC. Then his dad took second, Joe Perrin third, Kelly Roberts fourth, and then it was Matt Wood fifth, Corey Oran sixth, and Denny Wessling seventh. Two-wheel modified buggy. That was a good race. Shouldn't have been quite that close, but it was. Craig Kruger won it. TQ and won it. Neil Fenai second. Neil took second, half second back. Kruger was up a little bit more than that, but he's coming to the last section of the last lap. He got hung up in traffic, got pushed out, and almost lost the lead over it. But it happens. Neil took second, only a half second back. Hunter Holmberg third. Kyle Holmberg fourth. Kyle Holmberg and Hunter battled it out for the third and fourth spot. And then Dan Hammond fifth, Weeda sixth, Scary seventh, Click eighth, Hutner ninth, and Van Dalen 10th. Van Dalen broke out right away. Pro 2A main came up next. That was it's pretty solid for Pro 2, 10 trucks deep. Wade won that. It was a really good battle between Wade and Anthony. They always battle it out on the on-road side, but this time it's off-road side. Then Brad Gobar in third. He wasn't far off those guys. And Sovicol fourth. Eric Lamb fifth. Matt Putz sixth. Jake Sovicol seventh. Joe Perrin eighth. Nick Sovicol ninth. And Seth Van Dalen broke out early in 10th. It was... Let's say Pro 2 was very, very aggressive, overly aggressive. You know how that goes.
Yeah, lots of fenders to throw.
Yeah, it's this mod truck A main. I wouldn't say Neil ran away with it. He just made the line when Weeda did it. Weeda took second. Weeda's truck was dialed. Him and Neil battled it out throughout the whole race. It is really good racing between them guys. And then Hammond was right there in third. Dan Hammond actually took TQ. Kyle Holmberg, he qualified 8th but took 4th. Then Scary in 5th, Hunter Holmberg 6th, Clayton Kurt Lucas 7th, Kyle Statzman 8th, Noah Maddox 9th, Craig Kruger in 10th, broke out.
What happened to Craig?
I don't even remember. Honestly, like I said, I was just trying to crank the day out. Then four-wheel drive buggy A main. Marshall Scary, you'll see when we get to the points. Marshall Scary did what he could. He TQ'd and won. Senior took second, last one on the lead lap. Sean Van Dalen third, Anthony Z. Stratton fourth. Anthony was a bump guy, so finishing fourth was pretty darn good. Clayton Kartluka fifth, John Hutner sixth, Josh Sinclair seventh. He also bumped up from the B. Then it was Carlson seventh, Carlson 8th, sorry, Bill Dalgard 9th, and Stefan Bedende in 10th. Pro Light A main, that's when it really started raining and it got slick. I'll tell you what. Sam Sovicol in with the double win with both Pro 4 and the Pro Light A main. He beat out Noah Maddox by only a second. Track was getting really slick because it was sprinkling and clay does not like water. Noah Maddox took second, Dan Shreve third, Zach Van Dalen fourth, Brad Gobar fifth, Jimmy Paulson sixth, and Joe Perrin seventh. That does it for the results. Let's bring up the points. We'll just mention the champions, but I want to mention a couple of battles. Nobody pointed out in Sportsman, which I was a little disappointed in. Greg Gerton here. Yeah, you won the Blinky Stock Buggy. Senior ended up second. Then it was Pro 4, nobody pointed out, which sucks. I spent money on plaques and they don't show. Two-wheel mod buggy, Craig Kruger won that by 6 points, so he got that pretty solid.
Now that actually could have been a lot closer had Chad Lundahl pointed out.
If Chad Lundahl pointed out, but if Craig or Neil hadn't showed up, we would have won it. Because
So it could have gone quite a
it
few
could have
ways.
gone quite a few ways for Mod Buggy. But it was still a good battle for all the mod classes all year. Then next up is Pro 2. John Huntner's the only one who pointed out in it, so whatever. Good job for Huntner. Hopefully we get more all types of short course showing up. Keep scrolling down. Mod Truck, Neil won that. He's with 494 points. He's 6 points up on Marshall, but again, if Neil went to showed up, Marshall would have won it. And Weta was only 2 points behind Marshall. So that was a real good battle there for second and third. And then up next, I think, this is the battle. So Clayton Kartluka won it with 493 points. And then Scary and Jozier Sr. tied for second and third with 492 points.
Marshall just got killed by that Duluth race where he dropped to the
Duluth
85.
Was that?
I think it
no,
was
that
Duluth.
wasn't. No, Duluth. He got 91. The
Oh.
85 was North Branch when he didn't even put his car on the track.
Oh, sure.
So
So it ended up costing him.
it ended up costing him. He could have gotten, let's say he would have put it down for one run, and he got let's say
So
two
how much
more.
money did this end up losing him?
This if you
What
would
is it if you win? If you were
$20.
a race, how many
A
races
race.
do we got?
But I'm also if we do Starbuck next year for the state champs, that could even be more.
That's true. Yeah.
So it lost him at least $140 if he made
Nice.
every single one. At least.
He
But-
probably still calls it a win because he
Yeah.
didn't have to clean that
Yeah.
buggy.
let me tell you what. I had to clean my buggy after that North Branch situation, and I'd call that one kind of a wash.
It was a wash.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was pretty brutal to clean.
Saving your time? I don't know.
Yeah, that was brutal because literally my wife and I had to double team my buggy after that one to get everything clean right away. To
Yeah.
get everything, to try to make everything not rust. Let's just quick talk about the Minnesota Nitro Series results.
One sec.
Yeah, I know Seth Van. It was the track. Loose Nuts was very different this time around because we didn't have the temperature, so it didn't groove up. But the track was still good. It was just different. So we that was brutal for me as an announcer because I'm actually finally just getting my voice back, and that was a week and a half ago. I did something nobody should do. I lost my voice. I had a really bad cold, coming up to the race. And I lost my voice Saturday. And I doped myself up, and I did everything to get my voice back for Sunday. And that screwed me, man. That was just... My throat hurt for a solid week after that. I couldn't talk. I couldn't do nothing. But, I got... Nobody else had to call any of the races, so it was good. Pro Light, Trevor Johnson just crushed him, period. Plain and simple, by almost 2 laps. One thing I want to say, we had to rerun the Pro Light A-Main, because public service announcement, know what you're plugging into, please. Somebody plugged into the scoring outlet, popped the breaker, it had just screwed the whole system up during the main. So
Did you have to rerun it, or
we had to rerun it.
how early was it in the race?
We were about, it was a 15-minute race. We're about 6-7 minutes in.
So did you just rerun it later?
We reran it later. We moved it to the end of the program.
Okay.
Ace Scale Buggy A main, Seth Van Dalen, man, he did a great job. He beat Josh Ford by 2.5 seconds. Josh was there the whole time, but Seth kept his head cool. And
Do you know how they're sitting points wise?
no, I don't, but it's got to be real close. Neil Fenice ended up third in that. Tony Sletton fourth. Tony just didn't quite have the buggy. I mean, Tony was trying, and he almost finished on the lead lap, which is awesome after a half hour. Yeah, Williams finished fourth. Williams finished fifth, excuse me. Then Sobchak sixth. Tony Swenson seventh. Torian Mitchell coming from South Dakota eighth. Tony Marks ninth. He said it was the worst weekend of his life. And then as Nate Smith, Darren Iggy, and John Iggy. And then Sportsman 4-wheel drive A main, Chad Johnson won it, followed by Daniel Koss and Alec Hins and Caden Hins. Zach Van Dalen did not run it because he has that class locked up. So he ran Pro 2 this time around just to try it out. He's trying to graduate out of the Sportsman class, which is cool.
Cool.
Yeah, so let's see. Nitro Truck A main, Corey Hins won it. Him and Trevor battled it out, but Corey was there. Casey Wright came, ended up third. Oh, this is cool how we did this. Nitro Truck was actually two-wheel open and Nitro Truck mix. I stopped the two-wheel drive open and the electrics 15 minutes into it. Look at the times there. So Corey Hins won the gas truck, and Hunter Holmberg won the two-wheel drive open. Because it just made it easier for the points.
Sure.
So that everybody knows where they're at, and they're not calling, so they don't have to call me. Do you
So
know
you didn't
what
really
so and
have
so was
13
running?
gas trucks. You
No.
only had the 5 or 6 or whatever.
Yeah, we had actually 7 because Sean Nowak ended up down there, but Casey Wright showed up Sunday only.
Okay.
And then Clayton Cartluca showed up Sunday only. But yeah, it was it was an interesting way to do it. We needed the marshals. We couldn't separate them, basically. So, but that was a different way to do it. Let's go to Pro 4A main number 2 just to go through the final results. So I think Josh Ford won it overall. That's Pro 2A main. Well, I'll go through Pro 2. Trevor Johnson won at the end. Nothing really special there. Trevor's pretty good with the 10 scale stuff there. Pro 4, go down a little bit here to the points. Josh Ford won it. Tony Swenson ended up second with the tiebreaker from Kyle Holmberg. Kyle Holmberg was using Danny Williams' truck. He ended up third. And then it's Justin Hazy fourth, Iggy fifth, Patrick sixth, Towel seventh, and Nate Smith eighth. I think Nate Smith had problems in both. I think he overheated. So yeah, and then Truggy A main. That's a Pro 2A main you brought up. Truggy A main. It's Tony Sletton won that one by 6 seconds over Josh Ford. They were about 2 laps over Dan Williams in third. Seth Van Dalen ended up fourth. Seth broke I think he popped a tie rod in or something like that and had to have a quick repair. That's about it. And then Two-Wheel Sportsman A main, Daniel Koss won that, followed by Chad Johnson in second, Alekins third, Vicky Spicer fourth, Dustin Spicer, first time ever racing, that's Vicky's son, ended up fifth. Joe Lutz sixth, Brody seventh, Travis Howe, Sammy Michael bump up ninth. Travis, Sammy, and Julia bumped up from the B. So is Caden 10th, Julia 11th, and Joe Kippis left. Julia was actually doing quite better than 11th, but she had to have a battery switched out halfway through.
That would cause problems.
Yeah, she was really running up towards the second, third, fourth spot. She just had some problems. That's why she had to bump up from the B. She had a couple problems throughout the day. So that does it for the MNRC results. Real quick, Worlds happened last week or whatever throughout last week and the weekend. Jared Tebow won the two-wheel drive buggy for the Kyosho, which is awesome of him. As real funky, they're racing the rain, the whole time racing the rain in California. So I feel for them guys. IFMAR did a really good job with the calls they made, I think, and the A-Main Hobby guys did a really good job getting the track prepared. And then, really quick, oh man, I just forgot his name. I just drew a blank on the four-wheel drive winner. He's a younger guy. He's 21 years old, who won four-wheel drive. Steve Hartson won the four-wheel drive Worlds with the B44.2 with the Avid.
Running the Avid chassis?
He was running the Avid chassis. I was just gonna say that.
Yeah.
So that might be something for you B44 guys to look at, is that Avid chassis.
I was reading on Live RC, and I haven't had time to really look at too much lately, but the lead engineer, I think, for Avid is leaving.
Yep, he's starting his own deal.
Yeah. Kind of interesting. I mean, it seems like in the last year they've... I know they did the center mod for the rear motor.
Yep.
They've got the new aluminum chassis. They've come out with that top plate.
Yep. They've done a lot for everything.
Yeah, they've really...
Their prices are a bit high, but if their stuff works...
It's not bad. So it's kind of odd to see that the guy developing everything is taken off.
Yeah. You know, that's kind of like Mark Pavita starting AKA.
Yeah.
You know, or Jason Rona starting J Concepts. You know, they came from someplace else before.
I suppose you want the full piece of the pie, not half of it. So.
Yep. It is a really disappointing start for the TLR 22-4. They only had one car in the A, but the track was funny.
You know, that could be disappointing, but it's such an exciting car to see come out. 3
belts, baby.
Yeah, to take a very different approach to things, and then still, I mean, it kind of hopefully will re-energize a lot of drivers who are very low-C biased.
Yep.
And they don't want to get into that four-wheel drive class.
I guarantee Hunter Holmberg's already pre-ordered 4 of them.
Oh, I'm sure all the TLR...
Maybe Lundahl will get back and do it. Yeah, there's a few. But that also sparks more interest. For some reason, it's like, okay, it's been, over the past 2 years, it's grown for the Super Saturday Electric Series to where we now have B mains. That's awesome. But it seems to be more popular in the series and not at a club level.
Yeah, they're a lot of work to really keep running.
They're not really, though. You build them right. My B44.2, you know what? Go in the other room and feel the diffs. That is still kit build.
Yeah.
Still, you build them right. You don't crank the diffs super tight. You build them with finesse. You build them right once. You won't have problems.
I would bet or venture to guess that there are certain people who would rebuild that car before every race.
Well, that's their own stupid problem. You see, I mean, I would understand if it needed it.
I mean, it's all up to what you're willing. If you have a higher maintenance level that you plan on putting in a car, like a truck or a mod buggy, and then you were to buy a four-wheeler and expect to put that same maintenance level in.
This is the way I look at it. You build the shocks as often as you do a two-wheel drive vehicle. If you build the diffs right, you do it the same amount, and then you just chase slop. And some of the slop you don't even have to chase. Some of it, you wait for it to break instead of chase it.
And maybe it's better than what I'm picturing, but I ran. There were a couple of times where I ran a rubber sedan.
Oh, jeez.
And I remember, a rubber sedan's the same thing, only for on-road.
Kind of. You're blowing through diffs a little more.
And maybe that's it.
There's more maintenance in it,
Maybe the diffs would last longer, like my two-wheel off-road, because I can get 2 months probably out of my two-wheel buggy.
the way my dad and I build diffs, we're freaks. That's the thing. There's little. I mean, I don't even do tricks anymore. I just know how they should feel right out of the kit. I build them that way, and I leave them. And guess what? They're not loose. They're not tight. They're the perfect neutral. And everybody's still talking gear diffs for this gear. You know what? I think actually Tebow had a gear diff in his two-wheel drive vehicle to win the worlds, but I still want to never run one. In an off-road vehicle, I should say. I'd run one in an on-road, not in an off-road. It's lazy. It's not right. It doesn't have the right feel.
Yes, I've never driven one to know how it feels. But
Yeah, it just doesn't. It either feels too tight or too loose, depending on what fluid you're running.
I guess in the two-wheelers, I've been able to get, probably at worst a month and a half.
Yeah, and that's not bad.
And to me, I'm able to rebuild my diff every month and a half and be pretty happy with it.
Yeah.
And that was when I was running a lot.
That's kind of what's okay. I have not taken one apart, or I've not seen a build video. I am gonna buy one eventually to compare a TLR 22.4, but it looks very new and modern. But there are striking similarities to the double X4. Okay, very striking similarities. Like how everything's covered, the way the slipper nut pops out. I kind of wonder if they have the clicker deal. That would be cool if they had the clicker. But the thing about it is how hard the double X4 was to get at things, the diffs and everything like that. The double X4 was a great car, but it almost made it not worth it. Because if you wanted to rebuild your diffs, you're looking at 4 hours. And that's no joke. That is, with the triple X4, they made diff covers, that you just undid a few screws, pulled it off, and
Yeah, I've always been interested in the four-wheelers, but
yeah, your luck with them.
yeah.
You didn't wait, like I said.
Well,
You
when
got too excited.
I bought one, and the next day they released a new one.
I said, Bob Stormer dropped the price on the B44.1 $100. You should wait. And I remember distinctively telling you this, as I told just about everybody that. I said, they're coming out with a new one. And everybody called me crazy. Why would they come out with a new one, they said. I said, I don't know, but Bob Stormer does not drop his prices like that for no reason. I think Stormer Hobbies has existed since 1986. And he's gained friends and he's gained inside information. And when he does something like that, when he dropped that power supply, the LRP power supply down to $100, I knew something was going to go on there with LRP and Associated. That happened about a week or two before the split. He actually just used my birthday request as an excuse to drop the price. Because Bob went on Facebook and he goes, what should I drop the price on? And I was the first one to comment, LRP power supply. Boom, done, $100. 2 weeks later, LRP splits from Associated. That was no coincidence why he dropped the price on that. I'd still buy the power supply all day long.
No, I have one. I love it.
Yeah, great power supply. But he knows, he's got somebody in his ear telling him what is going to happen. I don't know who he's got telling him. But when you see prices drop all of a sudden, you know something new. Yeah, hopefully this revives four-wheel drive more at a club level. I'd love to see it. It's my favorite class. I'm a four-wheel drive junkie myself. Four-wheel drive buggy. Honestly, I'm thinking this winter.
Are they running stock buggy somewhere?
Sean is really going to push stock buggy this winter.
Really?
Sean is, from what I've heard. Not anybody. So that's going to be cool. We'll talk about that when we get to 510, but we got some other things to talk about. The new North Star Series, held by Brandon Skews and Brian Post, set it up.
Okay.
And I believe Gary Pond is in on it also. It's between Torque, Genesis, and LSRCC. It's going to be a 3-race series deal with existing races. There's going to be cash payouts. Overlooked the thread a little bit on RC Tech, so I don't know the exact cash payouts for the points, but there's going to be, the classes are going to be stock 12 scale, World GT, stock touring car, I'm guessing rubber, 25.5 VTA, MMR VTA, and Mini Cooper. Those are going to be the classes. The first race is coming up here soon. Is going to be Torque's Oktoberfest. Torque has been trying to bring back Oktoberfest basically since Torque started, because that was a big staple race in Minnesota back in the early 2000s. I mean, we're not even close to that. We had big guys coming. We had Lemieux, and a few other huge guys coming to, because it was a part of a 3-leg series. Oktoberfest in Minnesota was. But there were a bunch of big guys that came. But we've been trying to revive it. But that's going to be coming up October 11th through the 13th. Here's the cool thing. Let's say you can only make Sunday. There's going to be 2 rounds of qualifying on Sunday. Personally, myself, I don't know if I'm going to make it. I am in a very iffy position. I got 2 rolling chassis and 0 electronics. I have no motor, no battery, no speed controllers, no servos, nothing. But I will go and announce Sunday at least. But that's going to be at Torque at the Armory in Cottage Grove. The first one is. The second leg is going to be the Midwest Indoor Championships at Genesis RC Race with third. And then New Year's Rumble for LSRCC is going to be the third part of the leg.
Kind of funny to think the New Year's Rumble, which is usually like the big kickoff of the year.
Yeah.
Is
Seems like it's just, it's frustrating to me that everything's starting earlier because it's clashing with the off-road. Put any that I'm a part of, and that, you know,
yeah.
it's like I'll still race at 510, but what's nice about 510 is I just sit there and race. I'll call a race for Sean here and there. I have 0 problem with that, but I'm not the race director when I go to 510. I enjoy sitting there and racing. So, do you want to add anything to the North Star Series?
No, it's exciting to see, I guess, and see the tracks working together.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's only good for racing. Hopefully, people are able to, you know, the people that like to run on road are able to make.
Yeah, I'm
you
good.
know, a couple of the different races, try the different tracks, see what else is out there.
I'll tell you what, the New Year's run entries that deserve, well, at least last year it didn't.
I know that actually of the 3, I would really love to make the one at Brandon's.
Oh yeah.
The problem I'm going to have with that is that's going to kind of conflict for me.
Oh, I hear you. It's frustrating that the Spectrum race is in November instead of December, but what are you going to do?
Well, I actually prefer it in November.
Yeah.
Because if I was to get more on-road together, I think it would be more, I really am interested in doing the New Year's Rumble.
Okay.
And I could see myself doing that.
Yeah.
I know that's one that Avery actually always had fun at.
Oh yeah, it's definitely fun because it's always, what's funny about the New Year's Rumble, it's always on the coldest weekend of the winter. Always. But they have a Hawaiian theme there. There's guys there in Hawaiian shirts and shorts and all that.
Yeah.
Last year, I think it was like negative 20 or 30.
Yeah.
Outside, it was brutal. Like,
I think that was my very first race that I ever ran was I think a New Year's Rumble.
like literally, it's so cold that half the cars in the parking lot need to be jump started.
Yeah, no, it is bad, and I remember. I think the first race I ever went to,
Yeah.
Jess was walking around.
Thing is the New Year's Rumbles in the Armory up in Superior, it's government heated. It's always like 75 or 80 degrees in the Armory. So literally you need to bring a change of clothes with you before you go outside. You got to put on like pants and stuff. But when you're inside, shorts are very appropriate.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm excited to race at Brandon's. I still have not made it down to Brandon's. His first like club race is actually this Sunday.
Yeah, I do want to try and make one race this year. I just unfortunately I don't think I'm gonna make. And I
Yeah. Hey, you got me to carpool with.
yeah, I'd like to go. You know,
It is
something.
3 hours away.
Yeah.
That's I think he's got a couple of Saturday races in there.
Yeah, maybe we can work something like that out because
Yeah.
I know I would like to make it. It's just I mean I've never seen anything. I mean the whole
Yeah.
building was designed around RC.
Yep. And
That's-
then
that's
he's
insane.
got and he's got so many sponsors for this Midwest on-road indoor champs thing. And he's got Dave Duncan who's going to be calling the races, all that. The only thing I call a negative, which will be a negative for Dave Duncan, is it's still running on JLAP instead of RC Scoring Pro. That's something for the race director to worry about, not
Yeah,
the
well,
racers.
I'm pretty sure Dave will be just fine. So,
I'm sure, but JLAP is a frustrating program.
Yeah.
But there. Anyways, that's it for the North Star
They're
Series.
doing cash payouts. I don't
Yeah,
know
they're
if you
doing
talked
cat.
about that.
I said cash payouts. I don't know how much. I don't have my glasses on, so.
It's all based on how much
Oh,
they
your
get out of the
entries
class
and, yeah.
stuff like that.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, look at the forum and see the deal. Next, I'd like to talk to everyone about RC10 spec. We came up with something. I'm gonna post it on the forum board sometime this week. We are going to run J Motors. Tamiya J Motors. No red dot. No engraving. It's got to be out of the Tamiya box. And it's very easy to catch a cheater motor. Literally, you'll have to bring, like I said before, when you're signing up for signups, you literally bring your RC10 with you and put it in my lap so I can do a quick look over. But anyways, it's gonna be a J motor with the Reedy Wolfpack we discussed. I'll put a part number on RC Tech. It's a $50 or $55 battery, and it's quality. It's not this cheap crap. It's not like some $20-$30 piece of crap battery. It's, oh, you got one right here. Is this a proper wolf? Yep, this is a proper Wolfpack in my hands. It's old as crap, and there's very, very, very little puff to it.
They're actually not that old. I think they only came out last year.
You bought a 25C last year?
Yeah.
Really?
I've been running those in mod truck.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Kind of smooths it out a little bit, actually.
yeah. The thing about the J motor is it is not too much for the car. It's proper for the car. It's not going to feel like a mod motor down the straightaway. All that crap. It's just proper,
You know, I know Greg Menner's been running it the last couple weeks up in Duluth.
and he's enjoying it.
And he's been right there, fives,
Yeah.
whatever, in their open buggy class, and he's been in the top 3
Yeah.
regardless with a silver can motor, and
Yeah.
he really has had fun with it.
Yeah,
I think he thinks the speed is just right. It's not quite the same as probably like a stock
No,
buggy.
it's not
going to
the
be a
same.
little bit slower.
it is, and that's what I want.
It's definitely going to be the vintage car, which is going to be nice because it's going to calm the car down a little bit. too.
Definitely, and that's what the car needs. And the thing about it is, if you blow a mistake,
Yeah, and I like that personally. I've enjoyed working with the silver cans a little bit with the Mini Coopers. I was
Yeah.
the Mini Coopers at one point were talking about switching to brushless, and
that wouldn't be a good deal.
I was okay with it from at the time. I was thinking maintenance, and it just
All you got to do, you don't even have to unwire it. You undo your 2 motor screws, and you spray it out and put a drop of oil on the bushings. That's it.
yeah, I'd probably go a little bit more than that, but it's more just because I'm really trying to keep everything as clean as I
Yeah.
can. So I try to really clean the comm as best I can.
Okay.
So I've tried. One of the things I used to do is, I've tried the Brasso. I've tried all these other things that people have said online.
Yep.
And easiest thing was just using com drops
Oh yeah.
to clean the motor. Yeah.
The thing about it is another quick trick. If you can't find I actually had a mix to where my motor way back in the, I'd say mid 90s, when we were still using com drops before really good brushes came out and all that, my motor would actually shoot, like, instead of sparks, it'd shoot just a little teeny tiny flame at the start.
Nice.
Oh, but dude, it was so fast for the first minute.
Yeah.
Then it went
So-
away really fast.
Kind of down the same path. The idea with the
Control, but if you're gonna go with the FXR, which I would not recommend, because why would you spend $100 on a brush speed controller? Why?
I think the FXR was really designed more about rock crawlers.
It is. Oh yeah,
So I always use just a stock Tamiya.
dude. You don't need nothing special. You don't. I'm using a GTX I bought from Sean Van Dalen a year ago for $20.
Yeah.
And you can find them all over eBay for $15-$20. It's so much cheaper, because if I was gonna do brushless, it would have been $120 minimum for a motor and a speedo.
Yeah.
Minimum.
I think cost-wise, I like it. If you were doing a standard brushed motor,
Yeah.
I would see more of an issue with
Oh,
it.
no,
You'd be
yeah.
going through brushes,
Yep.
turning comms, and all
'Cause-
that garbage.
I was thinking about the stock Associated motor, the one that's sitting right in front of me here,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, nope, can't do it. I cannot
It's
do
just
it.
more maintenance.
It is. It is. I like the closed end bell idea. The J motor has enough horsepower to where it won't suck.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. Like, there's a Tamiya gray can that comes with the Mini Coopers or whatever that are just that much slower that you can't justify.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna use a Tamiya J motor. Actually, on the way here, we're gonna use tasers instead of double Ds. Wait. You're gonna have to wait for a rim option, because I'm still waiting on J Concepts. I am gonna PM
Didn't
road.
AE come out with a
AE came out with an adapter which would be acceptable if J Concept hub, really. It's a different hub, but the dimension of the hub's the same.
So I used to have a conversion for the B3.
No, this is a straight dog bone. It's gotta be dog bone.
Okay, so it's got to be dog bone, and
Yes.
and then I believe you found another wheel that's made overseas.
I
that works.
found a wheel. They cost $18 for a full set for a front and rear.
It's not too bad.
It's
a
made-
little bit much.
It's a little much, but
that with
but
shipping?
that's with shipping and
Okay, that's
everything.
not bad.
So that's shipping
So
and
if you were to
everything.
buy a couple sets, it wouldn't be that much.
Yeah, they're ugly. They're like the old RPM rim. They're 5-spoke.
So it fits with the concept of the car.
Yeah, but it's ugly. Like, you know how this has no style to it.
Okay.
It's from a company not to be confused with J Concepts. It's called JC Racing.
Okay.
They used
I've
to
heard of
sell
that.
on eBay, but they got their own website now.
Okay.
But yeah, including shipping. But the problem is it takes 2 weeks to get them, because you pay through PayPal. But the way it works through PayPal, it works as a PayPal check. So it takes a week for the check to clear, and then it takes another week to get the rims.
Okay.
So they ship
So-
it when it clears, but it just takes a week.
So for a basis of the rules, electronic wise, obviously any servo radio.
Any servo, any radio,
You're looking at your Reedy battery,
the Reedy Wolfpack, the 25
brushed speed control, and
Any-
then a
yep.
Silver Can 540J motor.
Yep, simple.
We're not going to lock down gearing, correct?
Correct. We're not going to lock down gearing.
Okay.
And this also, people like you and possibly me, I mean, my car's on back order. I don't know how long it's going to be on back order for, but I have an original RC10. But this will prevent the 6th gear from going kaboom.
Yeah, it should.
See, that was another issue I had with the 17.5. Like Menor said, his was working okay with the 17.5, but I could see a bunch of people coming in with the old RC10s, and I could see it just bombing. Because
I don't know how many people are still running the old ones locally, but
almost everybody who talked about it has one. A lot of them are mint, and they don't want to run that particular car. But I mean, that's the problem is, and then one frustrating thing I've gotten, people are like, well, what if I have a stealth transmission and geared a certain way? Gear ratio is a gear ratio. No, absolutely not. The stealth transmission is so unacceptable.
one thing with this, I mean, it's definitely a better setup.
Oh, it is better, but it's not right.
And then you're throwing in that it's probably going to have a slipper on it and some of these
Oh
other
yeah,
things.
yeah, it will. The stealth transmission's the same transmission that's in your car now, except it's a different ratio. It's 2.25 instead of 2.6.
Yeah.
But no, it's still unacceptable.
So I had a quick conversation with Menor, and he came up with an idea I thought was kind of neat.
Yeah.
I know I actually haven't told you this yet.
Uh-oh.
So, dropping it on the air. But, so I think you guys had talked about a motor claim rule, I believe is what it was at one point. Where,
Yeah.
well, one of the thoughts that he had was $20 for the claim rule,
Yep.
okay? But instead of having the person who pays the $20 get the motor,
Yep.
they have that way, instead of having somebody who cleans and takes care of their motors for
Yep.
somebody and gets it all nice and broke in,
Yep.
having to give up their motors for other people to run, they actually have to accuse them because they truly believe they're cheating.
Yep. See, no, I don't want no, because you know what? Those accusations will be handled by me alone. Like I said, when you sign up with the car, you have to hand me the car. And if after the race is over, and I am gonna pick the car up, because a lot can happen from the time. Yep. Dude, I'm serious about this one, you know?
Yeah, no, that's fine. I just thought I know.
I don't
remember
wanna-
at some point in the forum, I thought somebody was talking about claim rules and all
Oh
this
yeah,
other
there's
garbage.
no. Everybody's got ideas, and they're all valid ideas. And you know what? With J Motors, I could buy 20 of them and have them in a box, sitting there,
Yeah.
and say you draw this chip. But that's not exactly fair.
Then I gotta go back to the pit, hook it up to the charger, and let it run for 2 hours so it can be broken in.
Yeah, see, that's not exactly fair to, because part of the fun about it's more of a wrench thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and the one
You
thing
know,
I found, the silver cans, once you break them in, they're all the same.
You know what? One guy, I was watching Mini Coopers, and people accused you, Menor, and Vink of cheating before, and I think Billy too.
Yeah.
And I go, you know what?
And Billy used
On a stick. You know what? I go, how long did you ultrasonic your bearings for? They're like, huh? They're like, they spin free. I go, they could spin freer. Well, it won't matter under power. Oh, you're damn right it matters. It matters so much. And it's like, is this free? Is that free? How long did you break your motor in for? What do you charge your battery at? How many amps? Another piece of crap charger will do. Well, guess what? I'm charging at 8 at 4.22 a cell.
charge per cell, but
Yeah, but it's just one of those things that's frustrating is this will be a cheaper class, but to be fast, it's still, you gotta have the proper charging equipment, and you gotta do the proper.
you know,
I mean,
as far as cheaper, just to throw out some numbers for people that are actually thinking about it, I bought an original RC10 because the one that I had that many of you have probably seen was the almost a world's car.
That's far from being legal.
It can pretty much run with the modern cars.
Yep.
And I ran. So I went and got the short arm original RC10. It's got like the A stamp on it or whatever they want to call them. I paid $70, tons of spare parts, and this was one that came with all the electronics. I mean, you could find one cheaper than that if you didn't do that. This one had all the old brushed garbage in there.
Yep.
By the way, if anybody's looking for that stuff, let me know. I've got some weird looking speed controls I've never seen before.
No, those are called wiper.
Oh.
They're mechanical.
One of them is like I've seen the one that spins, but what's that? That one's like a bar.
Yeah.
There's a second one in there that's like, I don't know, whatever.
Well, hold on. I got the bags right in front of me here. Is it in the bit? Oh.
There's one in the bags too.
No, yeah. No, this is a rotary that's in the car.
Yep.
That's a rotary one, and the one that's in a bag is a wiper.
Yeah.
I had a wiper in one of my play cars before. My dad. Okay. I have friends that used to play on the street but didn't race. And my dad knew I wanted to play on the street too, so he took some JRX Pro SEs and he put stupid fast motors in them with wiper speedos. Because it didn't matter, and he left my race vehicle a race vehicle. And these wipers, I ran mine literally, I tried to water skip it. I don't know, dude. We had a pond back there, and I knew this car man got a little bit of a jump. It skipped a couple of times and then sank like a stone. My dad had no idea I did it because that wiper speedo worked after it tried.
Nice.
But you should see the throttle leg because you need a servo to work it. Because and the throttles back
I saw
then.
that has a servo sitting in it right now in
Yeah,
the car.
yeah, that's for the speed controller. It literally takes about a second to a second and a half for it to go full throttle.
Nice.
So yeah, RC10 spec. It's going to be a Taser tire, M3 or M4. I wanted to spec and just say M4.
This is good because it allows you to change per track conditions if there's a really hot day.
I wanted to say double D's alone, but dude, the Taser's so much better than a double D. I can't sit there and ignore that fact.
It has been on our tracks.
I can't
this
say
year.
so much better.
On our tracks this year.
I would say noticeably better and faster.
Yeah, I would agree. I think I saw a lot of people that were stuck running the double Ds
Yep.
that had changed back and forth between like double Ds, 3Ds.
Yep.
And there's no feeling, they're not even close to the same feeling. I tried them just to see.
Yep.
And
I will have a full set of rules written on RC Tech hopefully by Saturday.
okay. And I think the one thing that's still hanging out there is just a front tire, right?
Yeah, I'm thinking the groovy. Nice and simple.
Groovy.
And people might complain, Pro Line with J Concepts. Who cares?
It really doesn't matter.
That's the way I look at it. Who really cares though?
I guess I always do run groovies in the front,
Yeah.
and it's just been what I've always had. That was because my fine tuning would be between a groovy and a rip.
Yeah, but the thing about it is if you're gonna be such a fanboy that you won't run the class because of a front tire or rear tire, this class ain't for you.
Well, and it allows you to say you have one of each then too, though.
Oh yeah.
So people can't
I was
say
thinking
why'd
about-
you do Pro Line or why'd you do J-Con.
I was thinking about doing the Worlds option to where they had a control rear tire but open front. But dude, that leaves the door so wide open.
The narrow
You'd have
front
to have-
end though is going to make it kind of challenging anyway.
Yeah, you'd have to have 5, 6, 7, 8 sets of fronts for that. That's just kind of against.
But why would you? I guess I'm confused why you would need that.
You'd have the groovies. You'd
Why
have
do
the
you
rips.
need all those though? I mean, like even in my regular buggy,
You'd have the barcodes.
I only run.
I mean, I could keep going with the tire list, the possible tires that would work, and you might run line edge. A lot. I mean,
I guess I understand the spec idea.
yeah.
I do understand it, but at the same time, as a front tire, you're just adjusting how the car steers. You're not changing traction.
Oh yeah.
levels.
By the way, that front makes the car whip the
You
rear
might make
around.
the car pushier,
You-
which will in turn make it feel like you have more traction.
But what if you make it have too much steering, which will make it in turn feel loose too, though? That can happen.
I just
Now that we're talking setups, we should talk about this RC Crew Chief program. Right here's the answer to the situations.
yeah, except it doesn't have a gold pan setup.
Yeah, we've been looking at this RC Crew Chief deal since Live RC posted a news story on it earlier this week. Actually, I think just yesterday. It's really cool. It's with the motor and speed controller and everything you're running, and I think it has speed controller settings. It will tell you what direction you need to go. You'll say, I want this out of the car, and it'll tell you what to do. It'll tell you if you need a front spring, or it'll tell you if you need a different shock oil, or it'll tell you if you need a different this or that, or maybe shock position. It'll tell you the best of your options in it. It was it's like a race car program for real race cars, except it's designed for RC.
That's the idea behind it. It definitely looks cool.
Yep.
I could see where, especially in an A scale or a sedan,
Oh yeah.
that.
I think it could be beneficial with everything. It's just they need to get more models in there.
Yeah, and they show you that you can add your own, but I haven't.
And $40 for the full program that allows you 2 computer downloads.
Yeah, that's. I mean, it's definitely appealing. Trial.
Yeah, try the 14-day free trial. It's at rightdesign.ca. Stupid website, just Google RC Crew Chief.
Yeah, it comes up.
Yeah, it comes up right away. Check it out. I'm going to check it out when I get home here. Actually, probably tomorrow because the new South Park starts at 9 o'clock.
Nice.
So, yeah.
So one more thing on the vintage I was getting, probably even a little high if you were looking for one that was just base model and you took your time to find one. The speed control, I just ordered electronic speed control LRP. Found that one actually on RC Tech, but like Junior said, there's Novaks and some of these other ones you can find for like $15 on
Dude,
eBay.
I got so many. If you wanted to go really retro, I got a Novak T4 that would probably work just as well as anything else.
Yeah.
Because full throttle is full throttle with brushed. You can't advance the time. Regardless of what any idiot says, you cannot advance the timing
Yeah.
on a brushed motor.
Although a silver can, you really can.
Yeah, I would easily see if you advance the time.
The silver can motors are 18. Price I think it was at Hub Hobby.
Hub Hobby was 22,
Oh,
so
okay.
$4 more.
Yeah, a little bit more, but you could have it like today.
Yeah.
The battery was like 50 or 55
So you're in it under $100. You could do it
in electronics.
in
plus the
electronics.
car.
Yeah.
So it's really a pretty affordable class if somebody's looking for some spec off-road.
Yeah. I had to. I took the J motor option, so it'd be affordable and easy for everybody.
Yeah.
If you complain about having to buy an extra $18 motor, all right, go run stock buggy somewhere because this just isn't right for you.
Yeah, I mean, I got $80 into a motor for my stock buggy.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
We got a couple questions. One from Gotti Jr. from the Radio Impound podcast. He's actually got a couple. One a little bit of a smart aleck one about he's GTA 5 online will be working on a consistent basis by a weekend. And right now, I'm going to answer to that. No, not this weekend, the weekend after. There's enough problems to where everybody at Rockstar is working around the clock. The next question Gotti had was, if you had a time machine, would you go backwards in time to race? You know what? I'm going to say backwards to the 2006 Minnesota State Championship race for stock truck. And the main race was against me and my dad. It was the third A main. I had a 10-second lead. And
Is that when they yelled triple it?
yep, because I was taking triple consistent. It was the second and last lap with NIM batteries. So you know it was getting a little weak. I went for the triple, I cased it, and my dad and I had to win a piece. My dad took the lead and took the state champs. It's over 7 years later, and that still haunts me. Like, I still think about it, and that's got to be the dumbest move I made. You know, I made a lot of stupid moves when I was a little kid, but I was just a little kid. I don't count those. You know.
I've heard that story a few times, so.
Yeah, people still scream at me to take the triple. So yeah, what about you? Forward or backwards?
You know, I only started racing, 4 years ago, so.
Probably forwards.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'd be cool to see some of the new technology.
I think we'll be seeing a lot of cool stuff in the next 5 years.
Yeah, I think that I would have to say about old or going backwards is I've always had, even though I didn't race,
Yep.
kind of the nostalgia of the old cars. I mean, like,
Dude.
you got a car sitting there in front of you in parts.
I'm sure you've seen the Max Models videos on YouTube.
I might have, I don't know.
Oh, I'll show you after this when we're done here.
Yeah.
They're pretty cool.
I think the part that I like about the old ones, or back in the older days or styles, or what I hear from the stories,
Yep.
is the ability to tweak different things.
Yeah.
Before, like right now, everything's consistent. You get a
Yeah, you put it together
brushless
and-
motor, you get a a regular speedo,
Oh,
lipos, everything's the same.
you know
You're not
what?
tweaking the car.
Is whoever, okay, your leaders in the A main, most of that was building skill.
Yeah.
Because if you put an RC10 together just stock, or same with the JRX2 or whatever, it was such a binding piece of crap. You had to sit there with files and reamers and all that crap and steel wool, and it was an experience. It taught you how to wrench. A lot of people nowadays claim they know how to wrench. No, you don't. Well, I mean, you might. Yeah, okay, you might know how to wrench and you might know how to set something up, but you don't know how to old school wrench. You don't know how to make
Well, you don't have
something
to.
work out of nothing.
But you don't have to anymore.
You don't have to, but you know what? I've seen like, really? You don't know how to fix it?
Yeah.
But that's just the way I look at things, because that's how I grew up. Is you had to learn how to fix it. If your arms had to be super free, 100% free, but with zero slop. I mean,
Why no slop? Because nowadays we kind of allow slop.
well, yeah, you do
My
nowadays.
V4 and T4 are pretty sloppy.
Yeah.
And I
Some
don't
say
plan
it's
on
better,
replacing it.
some say it's not. It's whatever.
Even in the old cars, that was the same, or because you were saying
Okay,
not binding zero slop is what you just said.
Yeah, because what you do is, let's say there's a little bit of slop, you'd put super thin shims to take away that slop,
I guess I'm curious as to why not just leave the slop?
to keep the dimensions. But back in the day, it also, with the JRX2, the rumor started the sloppier it gets, the better.
Yeah.
But that was with the Losi, not associated. Losi has always seemed to be the sloppier it gets, the better, except for that new stupid slider rack that they got. But Exotech has come out with a new version for the 22.2 or whatever it is. Or what is it? The 22.20?
I don't know. New Losi.
Yeah, the new Losi. The Exotech has come
That's
out.
cool that they came out with a new. I
It
know
comes
so many
out with
people
a
that have not
bell
liked that.
crank.
Yeah, to actually update that to a bell crank is cool.
That
Now, didn't
makes
they,
the car
They
pro-
didn't update a bell crank on the new version, huh?
No, they didn't.
Losi
Which was
didn't?
no Losi. They changed some other stupid things, but it's the same stupid slider design. I mean, it works for a little bit, but then it gets super sloppy. Or
Even with the new one.
yeah, even with the new one.
Okay.
Well, I can't say with the new one. No, I cannot say with the new one because it's brand new.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything happen.
Drive, and I thought it looked and sounded pretty cool.
No, the new one, they just refined the old one.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure Chad has had the new one since the start of the season.
Think so?
I think he's had the parts.
Oh, because I thought when I talked to him, he told me he was still running a lot of the old version, hasn't had new parts on it yet.
Maybe, maybe not. Maybe he's just.
He doesn't wrench a whole lot.
Yeah, you're right. You're right a little bit. When his vehicles are right, he'll just drive them. But when they're wrong, he'll really sit down and grind on them. But anyways, one more thing, a couple more things. Aaron Grovem had a question. He said, since in outdoor season's coming down to an end, let's talk about some indoor off-road events. All you got in Minnesota, you only have two options. You have Turf at MMR, a little track in New. There's one starting in Osseo, Wisconsin, called Lucky 13 Raceway. A guy named Scotty Shuttle is building it, but it's going to be turf. But talk about Foley 510, because that's what I consider my indoor off-road home track. That's what I go to the most. That's what I enjoy the most. I enjoy dirt. This year, everybody's already heard the sauce them at home. You don't sauce them at the track. Nothing. That includes no Simple Green or products like Simple Green to clean.
First time I talked to Sean, and I think that's cool.
Yeah.
Because he's really taking this stance pretty hard.
He is. I'm glad. You know what? Personally, I'm following the rules. It is very easy to tell the difference between a tire that has been sauced and hasn't been.
And that's my question: is it's easy to tell after the fact, like if you
you're going
consistently
3 or 4,
at home, you know,
because if you soak them, you can still feel it. The Simple Green thing is going to be the tough thing to check. You know
well,
what
I
I mean?
think he said it was okay to clean them at home, just not at the track.
It could be. Yeah, it could be.
For
but
the Simple Green.
he said, okay, I can definitely say water only at the track.
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah, water only at the track.
I could be wrong. Maybe he said no Simple Green at all, but that seems kind of overboard. But
Yeah. Whatever, I'll run Sean's rules. It's his
yeah,
deal.
no, I agree. I agree 100%.
I really dig the no sauce thing.
I do too.
The smell didn't bother me. It bothered a lot of people.
It did bother me.
But what did bother me was the whole tire war situation. You know, the green barcodes were good for 2-3 runs. Well, they were optimal for 2 or 3 runs.
I think we're still going to have a bit of a tire war,
Yeah.
but
I don't.
there always is. That's what.
Well, yeah,
racing
there's
is.
always a tire war, but it won't be so bad.
Hopefully, but you may find out that half a pin works better than a full pin, or
Yeah.
I mean, there's still you go to
Well, hey.
trackside and a broken tire is better than a new tire.
Yep. You know
There's a
what
reason
though?
for that.
You know what though? 510 is starting racing this Friday, the 4th it would be. Guess what? I'm gonna go and check out his new layout and check out and see what's what. To be clear, he said you can run whatever tire until November. Is what he told me.
He had a date on his thread.
Yeah, he has a date on the thread, but you can burn off last year's tire until November. But I'm gonna go and buy a brand new set off the wall, and I'm gonna compare.
Well, question is, I mean, at this point,
It doesn't matter what
Nobody
the
knows-
comparison is.
But nobody knows whether it should be a barcode or a pressure point or a
What if it's impact?
maybe
What if it's what's the other one besides impact? There's another one.
suburb or whatever.
No, it's another AK.
Handlebar.
No, handlebar. It could be. It could be vector. What if it's a vector?
Oh yeah.
The vectors have known to work here or there. They're usually not the optimal tire, but they've been known to work here or there.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah.
I'm sure Sean has been testing on it.
Oh yeah.
I know that obviously with
Yeah.
some of the pictures and things we've seen, we know they've been there working on it.
But the big thing is though, 510 in Foley, they're not running this Saturday, but his normal schedule is usually Friday nights, Saturday mornings, and Wednesday practice. So Friday race, Saturday race, and Wednesday practice. That's his normal schedule. Or that's what he ran last year. Usually I do the Saturday myself. The wife likes it when I do the Friday better because I'm home the rest of the weekend. But man, I'm just so tired from work and all that crap. I just can't. I'm doing it this week just to get some racing in.
Yeah.
I was going to go chill on the hill, but I got to work a little bit on Saturday.
Yeah.
So, and all that. So anyways, yeah, that's pretty much it for winter off-road racing. There's carpet all over the place too. Announced today or late last night, Aurora Carpet Nats are within driving distance at Omaha, Nebraska at the Plex. So I'm excited about that. A lot it's going to take entries away from the PKC because they're so close together.
Yeah, that would be an issue for me because I've gone to the PKC the last 2 years and I was really planning on going again maybe, but that would be hard to do if I were to go to another race like that.
Have you ever been to the Plex?
I have walked in.
I used to race there. I think the last time I was there was like 06 or 07.
Okay.
The last time I raced there was on Torque's current carpet because Torque has the Plex, his old carpet.
Okay.
But it's a very nice facility, and I can't wait. Everything there is just nice.
It's not bad. It's not.
You know, I
as
kinda
nice as their
wonder-
off-road one, but
I doubt that they'll let me throw a dirt car down in between. Yeah, I really doubt they let you throw dirt cars down in between races. But that'd be cool if they let you throw a dirt car down when you're.
go out there. They do allow practice. Like they have a paid. One of
Okay.
the things they charge fees.
Yeah,
for
but during a
practice
national
throughout the
event,
year.
though,
It's a different building.
I suppose. You know, that would be fun. That would kill a lot of time. You know, when you're sitting there, let's say that there's only so much. There's only so much maintenance I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
And once that maintenance is done, I'm sitting there for 2-3 hours.
Yeah. Really tall driver stand.
Yeah.
So
So,
makes
you know,
Duluth
that-
look small.
That would be fun to bring the off road stuff there. You
Got
know.
room for all that though.
Oh,
But, yeah.
I have all the room in the world. Because you know what, I'm probably only gonna carpool with one person. I don't know who yet. Maybe two.
Your old man gonna go?
I don't. If you're gonna go, I'll carpool with you. And if my dad's gonna go, I'll carpool with him. And that'd probably be about it. Maybe if Bub. I'll tell you what. It'll be on my own schedule. Like, not every night has to be special. You don't have to go out for steaks and beer every night. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I'm gonna go and I'm gonna do my own thing, run my own schedule. I'll hang out
There's
with
a
people.
lot of nice steak places in Omaha.
Oh yeah, definitely. But you know what? If it sounds good to me, I'll go with the group. If it doesn't, I won't.
I lived in Omaha for 4 years, so I,
Yeah.
I like the area.
We used to race Heart of America in Omaha in a parking lot. It was some like vet school or vet tech, something like that. But it was literally the windiest, consistently windiest spot in the whole country. Was the exact spot we were. A joke the first time, and I'm like, no, you're kidding. This is not And they're like, nope, this is really the windiest spot in the whole country.
I would probably argue that Fargo might be up there too.
It was up there, but not compared to this. Okay, we were at raced A scale on road there. It had such a headwind that going down the straightaway, I was going perfectly straight. I hit a headwind. It picked my car straight up. It didn't lift it up a little bit. It picked my car up, so my car was up. Vertical. Lifted it up in the air after it got vertical more, and then dropped it down and broke my rear pivot blocks.
Nice.
Yeah, that's how windy it is there. I mean, people lost pop-ups there constantly.
Yeah. When does sign up start for this?
I'm not sure. It's not even on the Roar website yet. They just announced it last night.
We have some time here.
There's some time to sign up. I mean, early, I know a ton of people are going to bail, but early Minnesota buzz is
a lot of stuff on Facebook. I've been out of the world here for the last post.
Yeah, exactly. That means you got to come with on.
Dirty, I know.
Who cares?
Kyle talked to me. He was asking if my cars were dirty from the lime, and I said I don't know. I still haven't touched either of those. I did run my stock buggy in the backyard.
Yeah, your backyard track. Oh yeah, I brought my stuff to run on your backyard track, and it started raining when we started walking out there.
I think it might just be you.
It might be. I bring the flippin' rain with me every time. It's seriously. Well, I knew it was gonna rain today, and I'm like, well, if I stop at the gas station, get myself a beverage and something to eat, spend that extra 10 minutes, it won't make a difference. Well, it made a difference today.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna run on your nice new track.
I had it already. Your dad came over earlier and ran on it, and
Yep.
It was all nice and groomed and ready to go. I've actually been pretty surprised. The traction was a lot better than I thought it'd be.
Yep. I'll talk about the MNRC final round. Last thing we need to talk about, because we're done with the Super Saturday Electric Series until April
so
or
the
May.
Moto Dome again?
It's going to be in the Moto Dome, so it's guaranteed racing, which is nice. So the downstairs pits, I believe, are heated. I think the upstairs ones are heated too, if the furnace is working. It was working last time we used.
They ran a couple of heaters last time. Couple years, or I think it was last year I went to it, or the year before.
Yeah, they got it. They got the pits heated. 13. Unless somebody else wants to hire me, you know what? Chances are I'm the best. Who I am by now. Contact me on Facebook. I'm always looking for work. So, it's just listen to some of these national guys. It's a little frustrating how they get all the work, and
some of that's promotion, and they've done some of the bigger events before.
Exactly, they've already got their foot in the door.
Yeah.
But you hear zero excitement out of these guys, and they only call whoever's leading the race, which is kind of lame. But whatever. So yeah, we got lots of racing coming up from October to November. So keep your eyes on the forum boards and Facebook. I mean, there's a ton of Minnesota racing coming up. You really, every weekend you can stumble on something. And there's always club racing at Foley or MMR, racing all over. So don't ever say there's not enough racing, because you're a liar if you say it.
There's racing, you just may have to go a little ways to get to it.
That's just fine. I used to drive down to Des Moines about twice a month to get my off-road fix. Well, he had his little track, and that was 4 hours one way.
Yeah, I actually have heard a lot of good things about that track. I
Oh,
wanna go
dude.
try it.
Last time I want to go try their new one. Last time I ran there, they were still in the mall. That's not there anymore.
Okay.
That was a lot of fun. Last time I was at the mall one, there's a bunch of 13-year-olds fist fighting in the arcade across the hallway. It's pretty sweet looking. You know what? You really don't want to cheer on a bunch of kids pounding the crap out of each other, but it was amusing, dude.
Nice.
I was sitting in my pits just watching it happen, and it's like, yeah, I can dig this. So yeah, we'll the next episode we want to get Brandon Skews on one way or another.
Yeah, I think we just gotta pick whether
Pick a
it's gonna
date.
be before or after his race.
I'm hoping a little before. You know, we'll talk to him. Maybe we'll have Marshall on or Eric or both. Maybe we'll have a 5-man crew. Who knows? Like I said, Marshall still wants to do it, and Eric still wants to be on when he can. Their schedules just suck. So, well, until guys post on the forum boards, and we've ran out of talent for the night. Have a good one.
See you later.